The start of the war in Europe is generally held to be September 1, 1939, beginning with the German invasion of Poland. Britain and France declared war of Germany 2 days later. The dates for the beginning of the war in the Pacific include the start of Second Sino-Japanese War on July 7, 1937, or even the Japanese invasion of Manchuria in September 19, 1931.
After an unsuccessful attempt to overthrow the German government in 1923, eventually became the Chancellor of Germany in 1933. He abolished democracy, espousing a radical, racially motivated revision of the world order, and some began massive retirement campaign. It was at this time that political scientists began to predict that Second Great War might take place. Meanwhile, France, to secure its alliance, allowed Italy a free and Ethiopia, which Italy desired as a colonial possession. The situation was aggravated in early 1935. Then the territory of the Tsar Basin was legally reunited with Germany, and Hitler repudiated the Treaty Versailles, accelerated his rearmament program, and introduced conscription. On September 17, 1939, after signing a ceasefire with Japan, the Soviets invaded Poland from the east. The Polish army was defeated and Warsaw surrendered to the Germans on September 17. With final pockets of resistance surrendering on October 6, Poland's territory was divided between Germany and the Soviet Union, with Lithuania and Slovakia also receiving small shares. After the defeat of Poland's armed forces, the Polish resistance established an underground state and a partisan home army. About 100,000 Polish military personnel were evacuated to Romania and the Baltic countries, and many of these soldiers later fought against the Germans in other theaters of the war. Poland's Enigma codebreakers were also evacuated to France.
On October 6, Hitler made a public peace overture to Britain and France, but said that the future of Poland was to be determined exclusively by Germany and Soviet Union. Chamberlain rejected this on October 12, saying past experience has shown that no relays can be placed upon the promises of the present German. After this rejection, Hitler ordered an immediate offensive against France, but bad weather forced postponements until the spring of 1940.
War in Europe concluded with an invasion of Germany by the Western Allies and the Soviet Union, culminating in the capture of Berlin by Soviet and Polish troops and the subsequent German unconditional surrender on May 8, 1945. The German government, led by Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, was responsible for the Holocaust, the killing of approximately 6 million Jews, as well as 2.7 million ethnic Poles, and 4 million others who were deemed unworthy of life as part of program of deliberate extermination. About 12 million, most of whom were Eastern Europeans, were employed in the German war economy as forced laborers. In 1945, the war was over. On April 12, President Roosevelt died and was succeeded by Harry Truman. Benito Mussolini was killed by Italian partisans on 28 April. 2 days later, Hitler committed suicide and was succeeded by Grand Admiral Karl Donitz.